What's going on, guys? In this video I'd like to tell you about such thing as tonsillectomy, all things you need to know about the surgery based on my personal experience, which I have had like 2 months ago to the current moment. So everything starting from the surgery preparation to post-op period, which I am currently right now, as you may understand. So please stay tuned. So to begin with, I'd like to start with a little bit of a backstory of myself, why I had to have the surgery in the first place, right? So the thing is that I have had problems with my tonsils since a very early childhood. Actually, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, I underwent tonsillotomy, yeah. So this is the surgery which is not about the tonsil complete removal, but they just cut your tonsils a bit to make them in a smaller size, right? So even in early childhood, my tonsils were too large and they prevented me from breathing properly. So they made them smaller with some medical knife, and after that, when I was growing, when I was a teenager, I started to have continuous problems with my tonsils, to put it simply, tonsillitis. Basically, I think I've had chronic tonsillitis from like age 10, 11 or 12. So now I am 23. This is the age, or this is the year which I had my tonsils completely removed, right? So the problem in the beginning was really simple, just a chronic recurrent tonsillitis. You know, I've tried every cure they have for it, some washing, of course. Oh, jeez, there's a bee here, so I'm kind of scared. So, like I said, I tried everything they offered, like washing your tonsils, like antibiotics. What else? So they washed my tonsils with a syringe and with some machine, and nothing helped at the end of the day. But the trigger to make the surgery was not the chronic tonsillitis, to which I would say at the end of the day got used, but as you may know if you watched some of the previous videos on my channel. If no, please see here or here. Rather recently, I'd say, I had something which is currently called chronic fatigue syndrome, based on, or I would say based on the Epstein-Barr virus. So, as I've already mentioned in some of my videos, Epstein-Barr virus is a virus which persists in your lymph tissue, and as you may know, our tonsils are bunches of lymph tissue in our throats. So therefore I assume that Epstein-Barr virus persisted in my tonsils very much, which finally led me to the periods of I would say symptoms of what is called chronic fatigue syndrome. Even though I've thought, or I felt like I've completely fought this state, at the end of the day, I think I started to have problems with not purely symptoms of chronic fatigue syndrome, but some symptoms of acute tonsillitis, such as heart arythmy. So my heart was beating really fast during the day. Also, there was a constant flu-like symptom with the, I would say, even without elevated body temperature, but with the feeling like you have a flu, constant sore throat. And I think maybe the most major trigger which forced me, I can say, to do this surgery is that one of my tonsils, the right one, yeah, it was the right one, started to get really enlarged compared to the left one. So, and it was so big that it even made me uncomfortable. That, you know, I feel something not natural in my throat, and so I was very uncomfortable. I was so I started to develop severe health anxiety from that enlarged tonsil, because, you know, when you're starting to Google one of my tonsils is bigger than the other, the first like 100 of links you get is you guys have a throat cancer, tonsil cancer, and so this was not really funny to me. So as I am a pretty nervous person by nature, I very quickly developed this severe health anxiety related to my throat, to my tonsil. Do I have a tonsil cancer or no? So, and the easiest and the most straightforward decision for me was to go for tonsillectomy, because I don't want to have this this enlarged thing in the face of tonsil in my throat, right? I don't want to have it on the one side. On the other side, I don't want to, or I want to be ensured that I don't have throat cancer or some other bad shit, you know. So therefore, I went for tonsillectomy. Now, just a few words about the surgery preparation. In fact, in my case, it wasn't much big of a deal for me. The only preparation I had is that I just passed all of the needed blood tests. So I think it's like a standard list of things you need to do before the tonsillectomy. It's I think more or less similar across all of the countries, all of the states. You have to check your mouth hygiene, you have to check your heart. I think it has something to do with the anesthesia. If you go for it, I mean the full anesthesia when you're sleeping. Also, I think you need some document from your therapist, something like this. At least it's like it was in my home country, which is Belarus. So that's it from the preparation. I haven't taken any pills or anything like that to prepare. So then I just talked to the doctor. I want to be my surgeon. So this guy looked at my throat. He said, "Yeah, your tonsil, like it doesn't look any suspicious, so you don't have to be suspicious of cancer." By the way, many ENTs said the same thing to me before I went to the surgery, that you should be concerned about cancer with this tonsil. It's a pretty normal thing, considering that you had large tonsils in childhood, then you had them, you made them a smaller size, and then they regrowth. So it's just like some peculiarity of your lymphatic system, that it is a really active lymphatic system in your body, they said. So I took to the surgeon. We agreed on the dates, and in this date I came to the hospital. Well, the sun is shining, so I think I need to wear some sunglasses. Anyways, in the needed date I arrived at the hospital, and I think I waited for 1 day, or yeah, 1 day totally before they took me for surgery. Actually, I was super nervous about that, if you can imagine, but everything was pretty quick. They just gave me some injection, I believe, to make me more calm, maybe, or something like that. Then I went, or they actually drove me to the operation table. They put the air mask with the anesthesia air to my face, and I just fall asleep. After that, when I woke up in some special hospital department where they take the most difficult patients, let's say. So but in our country it's a normal protocol that first day you should lay here in this department. So what I felt right after this surgery, and also by the way, I didn't mention that I had like a combined surgery. It was the tonsillectomy plus septoplasty and turbinate reduction. So I had operations or surgeries both on my nose and my throat at the same time. But I'm gonna talk about that in a different video. So what I felt when I woke up is that I just ate a couple of bottles of glass, I would say, because my throat was super dry. It was really sore, so it hurt so badly, so that I didn't even drink much water because I just couldn't. It was too difficult to me to drink water at the moment. And moreover, I had to spit my blood for like 2 or 3 hours, or maybe even 4 hours, totally right after I woke up. So I just laid on my back and spitted blood. So after this one day have passed, they've moved me to my ward, to my medical ward, let's say, and so my post-op journey, my post-op period have begun. As you may have read in some other sources, it's true that the first 1 to 3 days are the most easy. It's really counterintuitive, but they are really the easiest one. I don't know why. Maybe during these days your anesthesia, your general anesthesia works the best or something like this, but these days were the easiest in terms of the throat pain. So but like it was it really hurted. It really hurts, obviously. I think first 4 days I've only drank and ate, let's say, fluids. Starting from the day one, I was prescribed a course of painkillers in injection form, and also for course of antibiotics also in injection form. So I had like 2 injections per day. Each day I were in the hospital, so it was really tough for my butt, you know, but anyways, it's already ended. So like I said, first 1 to 3 days were the easiest. Starting from day 4, and I would say maybe to the day 12 or 13 or even like 14, like 2 weeks. It was really rough pain. I've lied in the hospital for 10 or 11 days totally. I know that it probably could be really different in your hospitals, guys, because the protocols or the practice in let's say post-Soviet countries, which is Belarus, for example, is that after all surgeries they like to have you in the hospital and observe you to control your state really for a long time. So I know that in some countries after tonsillectomy you can go home like the same day, even considering you had the general anesthesia. But in all countries like Belarus, Ukraine, maybe even like Poland, Lithuania, I don't know, but they're having you in the hospital for a long time. So I had 11 days in the hospital totally, and I would say that the pain was the largest or the most powerful starting from day 3 to day 12 in my case. So in my case, my, let's say, initial recovery, and why I'm saying initial you will understand later, the initial recovery took a really long time because, like I said, I was about 2 weeks on a sick leave. So only like after 3 or 3.5 weeks after surgery, my fibrin in my throat, this white tissue which is covered your tonsil niches, went away. Only after 3.5 weeks in my case. I don't know why it took so long, because many people suggest that they have fibrin went away after 10 days, for example, but this wasn't the case for me. So I can say that initially I have recovered only after 1 month after the surgery, but it's not the whole thing. So now I think I'm like 2.5 months, almost maybe 3 months after close to 3 months after the surgery, and I can say that I haven't had any serious complications along the way, like some people, I know some people are having blood hemorrhages, something like that. I haven't had any of that. So it's really important to stay hydrated during your initial recovery, constantly stay hydrated, and even after the 2 or 3 months, you guys should continue to stay hydrated. So stay hydrated. Also use a lot of chewing gum, because it helps you to generate more of the speed in your mouth. What else? So I can say that till 1 month after the surgery, or even like in my case, which is a real long recovery, I believe, even after 3 months, sometimes it hurts a bit to yawn for me. But what is more important, your mouth really becomes to be more dry. I don't know, maybe it's not a common symptom, but in my case, my throat, especially after I waking up each day, becomes really dry. I haven't had this before the surgery, and it's like side effect which you have to cope with. You should know that you probably could have it after the surgery. Another interesting thing is that my right side of the throat, which the larger tonsil were situated, if as we remember, now a bit still hurts a bit. I feel like a tension of the tissue here, so it's hard to explain. It's like some area on my right side of the throat which is more dry than the other one, and it has some tension. So the tissue is like a bit inflated all the time. At least it feels like that. However, when I showed it to my ENT after maybe a month after surgery, she said it's okay, it's just a normal side effect and it should go away with time. I also, when I googled that side effect, I also found some similar posts on Reddit, for example. So probably it's not really common side effect, not really common symptom, but it can occur after the surgery. So the thing is that people are suggesting that they are having this tension or the pain on the side of the throat which had the larger or the most infected tonsil, as it was in my case. I think I've mentioned everything I wanted about the post-op period, but if you guys still have any questions, please leave them below the video and I will answer to all of you. I'll try to answer to all of you, because I know how easy it is to catch this, not the health anxiety in this case, but recovery anxiety after the surgery. And so please feel free to ask questions, okay? So now I want to end the video with the takeaways. So what is the principal takeaways from this surgery? I would say don't be scared. If you know that you have a history of tonsillitis, if you know that you've tried almost every cure they offer you, like washing your tonsils, like taking antibiotics, like, I don't know, applying all kinds of sprays and lozenges and all of that, and if your tonsils are still staying infected, please go for it. Of course, you need to consult with the experienced ENT before that, but you should understand that ENTs have like a tendency to not to let you to lose your tonsils, because some of them still think that tonsils are vital organ in your body, and I'm not objecting. I think science doesn't know yet for sure, but I think just based on my experience, in some cases you need to cut them away from your throat because they're just not making any good for you, you know. They're just constantly infected organs, which can give you some physical discomfort, which also can really affect your body, like it was in my case. Right before the surgery, I felt the severe symptoms of the tonsillitis. I had heart arythmy, I had severe weakness. Maybe it was like combined with Epstein-Barr virus, I don't know. But what I can tell you for sure, that in my case, to the current moment, even though I'm having such side effects, some new symptoms, I would say, in my case, it was a good idea because I don't have this lump feeling in my throat right now, so my throat is clean. I know that. More than that, now this fatigue feeling, this tiredness feeling, I would say almost all of the symptoms of chronic fatigue syndromes just went away from me. So, and also after the surgery, I've asked the doctor what he thinks about my tonsils, whether it was the right decision for me. So he suggested that yes, that was the right one, because my tonsils were fully infected. So guys, I think I've told you everything I could about the surgery. If you have some questions, please leave them below the video. I'll try to answer all of them. And I just wish you all to be healthy, to feel good, and to enjoy this life. So, bye. See ya.